Hello, it's Liz from West Star Tarot, and today I am doing a VR to Amy at Strength Reversed, and the tag is called New Year, New Tarot 24. And I actually saw this first done, or the VR done by Laura at Aquamarine 18 Tarot and Books. And I watched Laura's, and then I watched Amy's. And I really liked some of the prompts or questions that Amy proposed. And some of them I had kind of already answered via videos I'd made myself or end of year, beginning of new year practices that I do. So anyway, I thought, hey, this sounds like fun. I think I'll give it a go. So there are 8 prompts. And the first one is Card of the Year for 2023. So, you know, I'm not doing my add up my birthday in 2023 and come up with the card kind of thing. I actually decided to just pull a card that represents the year I've had. So I'm going to have to kind of go retroactively. So this is kind of 2022. This one and then this one. And this lovely Tower card carried over into 2023 from 2022. And as I came to the end of 2023, this card kind of fell away and this card stepped forward. So this is how I ended 2023. You know, down but not out, wounded but not dead. You know, I'm hanging in there, and I'm ready to move on into 2024. So I moved from the beginning of 2023, the Tower, and then as the year came to a close, I moved into 9 of Wands mode. So for 2024, I had decided that I was going to, well, let's see, how long do I make this story? Oh my goodness. I actually did a whole video on this. So I've decided for 2024, I'm going to center joy and happiness and loving kindness. And I realize that I have the privilege to do that. Not everyone can. But I have spent the past, I don't know how many years, worried, angry, in despair over the state of the world, mainly, but also some, you know, personal things that were going on. And I thought, the end of 2023, I thought, you know, so has my being worried, angry, and in despair changed anything in the world? Is the world better off because I've been in that state? And the answer is no. The world is not better off. So I decided for 2024, I want to center, as I said, joy, happiness, and loving kindness. So I decided to purposefully or representationally pick a card that I'm leaving out on my altar to remind me about this, to remind me every time I sit down at my altar, I'll remember, or my sacred space, I'll remember, you know what? This is what I'm doing. So I picked the Ace of Cups. This is from the Super Lunaris deck. And that's my card to remind me of centering joy and happiness and loving kindness. And I was thinking that, you know, if I can stay in that emotional state, or at least try to center that emotional state, as I go out and about interacting with folks, you know, people that I just sort of run across during my day, the grocery store cashier, you know, the person that delivers my mail, you know, people that are close to me, whatever. If I can interact with folks in that state of centering love and joy and kindness and happiness, then I'm feeling like it's a ripple. I'm sending out that emotional ripple. So instead of sending out anger, worry, and despair, hopefully in 2024, I'll be sending out, you know, the Ace of Cups energy, loving kindness, peace, happiness, joy. So we shall see how that goes. I decided to, you know, I'm going to update my channel, maybe quarterly, maybe monthly, whatever, on how this practice is going, and we'll see. So I decided, in addition to purposefully pulling a card for 2024, I would also randomly pull one. And I did pull one from the same deck, and it's the Judgment card. And I don't know if you can see, oh, there you can, that there's this person's face there. So the Judgment card. And, you know, the Judgment card in the past hasn't always made me happy to see it turn up in a reading. But when I was looking at this and thinking about reawakening, fresh start, those types of, aspect of the Judgment card, I thought, well, how perfect. That's a perfect way to start the year off. I'm kind of coming off this rough Tower year. I'm in my Nine of Wands mode, and now I'm gonna swing into Judgment and just that whole rebirth, reawakening, new beginning kind of thing. So those are the cards for 2023 and 2024. So number 3 is Tarot Habit I'm Leaving Behind. So in 2023, I did a whole series. I believe it was in the month of September. I did a whole series of culling videos. I had been thinking about doing this for quite some time. And then a friend of mine said, you know, Liz, why don't you I was talking about culling. And she said, well, why don't you do a video series? And I'm like, I'm not going to do a video series. Who wants to watch me go through my decks and decide if I'm going to keep them or let them go? No one. But she talked me into it. So I thought, well, I'll at least film it. And if I feel like posting it, I will. And if I don't, I won't. They're like some of the most watched videos I've ever posted, which I think is really rather hilarious. So anyway, I called, put in the pause box, and or called altogether about half my tarot collection. And so the habit that I'm leaving behind is overconsumption, buying decks without thinking it through, spontaneously, you know, like in the past, I would hear someone talk about a deck or see someone mention a deck or show a deck on a video, and I would just go, boom, buy it. And a lot of those decks turned out to be decks I didn't end up working with or using, or they didn't gel with me. But I had mounted all these decks. And what I found happens is the decks I really do like kind of got lost in the shuffle of all of these decks that it's not that I don't like. Some of them I guess I don't like, but they just don't gel with me. And once I had culled all those extraneous decks, and now my decks have a place, I can see them clearly, I would sit down to do my daily draw, and it would just be a pleasure. I could see my decks. I would know. It's like, oh, all these decks that I have, I really like. I love. They speak to me. You know, I want to use them. They make me happy. So I really am trying to bring that. I'm planning to bring that into 2024. And in fact, I just had a reading, a tarot reading, and the person doing the reading showed me a couple of decks. One that they did the reading with, and another one they wanted to show me because they thought it would, you know, they thought it had a message for me. And both the decks, I was like, ooh, I really like these decks. And one of them was a mass market and one was an indie. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get these decks. And then I thought, wait, pause, think it through. And that was on Wednesday. This is on Sunday. And now I'm realizing, you know what? I really don't need or want either of those decks. I'm going to just work with the decks I have. Not that I'm not saying I'm never going to buy another tarot deck or that I won't buy a tarot deck tomorrow or this month, but I just want it to be thoughtful and I want to think it through. I want that deck to touch my heart. So that's the habit I'm leaving behind. Yeah. So now for number 4, tarot habit or practice I'm embracing in 2024. So I keep a journal. So when I do my daily draws, I write in a journal, and I go through a number of journals every year. But I find it hard at the end of the year when I want to look back on decks I used, readings that stood out for me, cards that repeated, whatever. I found it hard because I would have anywhere from 3 or 4 or 5, 6 journals to go through. So this year I decided that in addition to my journal, I'm going to keep a tarot planner, notebook, and I'm not planning anything, I'm just recording. So let me just see. So this is the past week. And what I'm doing is so on Monday I used the Greenwood Tarot, and I pulled the 10 of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and Judgment. And then, let me see, on Friday, I used Witch Sister Tarot, and I did a 9-card box spread, and I pulled King of Pentacles, King of Swords, 5 of Swords, Queen of Cups, Death, Moon, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and Empress. Yesterday on Saturday, I looked and did a little bit of a study on the Decan card for now, the 3rd Decan of Capricorn, which is the 4 of Pentacles. So this is all right here in my little calendar planner. And at the end of the month, I will, kind of summarize things. So I'm feeling really good about this. I am not a naturally organized, methodical person. I'm an Aries sun. And so I'm not good at sticking with things and being organized and so forth. But this is feeling really good to me, and I really think I'm going to stick this through for the whole year. It's pretty easy. And if I forget a day, I'll just, look at my journal and record it in here. So I'm kind of excited about that. And we will see how it goes. But, I'll be able to track the decks I seem to use the most. And like I said, I can see if there's certain cards that I tend to be, like the stalker cards or whatever, just cards that crop up for me. So I'm kind of excited about that. So that's the tarot practice I'm embracing this year. decks going on hiatus in 2024. Well, like I said, I culled half my collection. So it would take a long time to go through all those. Feel free to watch some of my culling videos. I did them in September. I'm actually going to do another video to kind of sum up the decks that I still want to release. I had hoped to do that right around the New Year's, and here it is the 14th of January, and I haven't done it yet, but hopefully before the end of this month, I'm going to do a video on the decks I culled that I still want to release. And I do have quite a few decks still in my, what I'm calling my pause box. And we'll see. At some point, I'm going to take a look at that and say, didn't miss you, or did miss you. And I've already actually pulled out, so I did that in September, this is now January, and I have pulled out 2 or 3 decks from my pause box that I wanted to use and I missed. So those are decks that have gone on hiatus. There's just too many to mention. Like I said, you can watch the videos if you're really dying to know. So decks I'm welcoming in 2024. So I have 4 outstanding Kickstarters. So these Kickstarters, I backed all of them well before I did my culling process. And they still haven't arrived. And that's fine, you know, but that's another reason why I'm not going to be buying, you know, I'm not planning on buying any decks in the near future, because I have these 4 Kickstarter decks coming in, and I think one of them is going to be coming in within the next week or 2. So anyway, the decks are the Gay Marseille by Charlie Claire Burgess. I'm really excited about that one. And I'll talk a little later about one of the reasons why. But I love Charlie's book, Radical Tarot, and I love the Fifth Spirit Tarot that they created. I used that a ton in 2023, and I just got incredible readings from it. So I'm very excited for their Gay Marseille deck. And then I'm also waiting for, what's it called? Maria Tarot, which is an updated modern version of Thoth. And, you know, why I backed that, I'm not sure, because I don't know. I think what I was thinking was, okay, as someone who is a tarot reader and a student of tarot, it would be good to be familiar with the 3 main systems, Rider-Waite-Smith, Thoth, and TDM. I have a beautiful vintage greeny Thoth, but I can't do it. The Crowley vibes, no. So I thought maybe just to have this deck might be a way for me to become familiar and comfortable with Thoth. But I'm not going to force it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then the other 2 are, one is Familiar's Way, Tarot and Oracle by Gillian C. Wilde. And that's coming, I believe that's the one that I should be getting within the next couple. It's a tarot and an oracle. And then Wonder Walking Oracle is, I don't know when that's coming, but sometime in 2024. So those are decks I'm welcoming, because I already paid for them. They're Kickstarters that were funded. And, you know, we'll see what happens when they come in. Biggest tarot takeaway of 2023, memorable lesson, spread, whatever. So, I already talked about the lesson, which is, really, there's a certain amount of decks at which once I go over, it's oversaturated, and I can't see the forest for the trees. But another thing that I learned or came refamiliarized myself with at the end of 2023 was the 9-card box spread. So that's 3 cards across and 3 cards down. And I did a spread for myself in December. I did a ritual for myself in December. Part of the ritual was doing a spread. And I was like, oh, I think I'll do this 9-card spread. I haven't done that in a while. And it was really powerful. And I did a reading for a friend. A friend of mine reached out and said, will you do a reading for me? So I did, and I thought, I'm going to do that 9-card spread. Oh, it's so much fun. Sometimes I think I was thinking that it's too many cards. There's too many, it takes too long. There's too many different ways you can look at it. But what I've been finding is when I put that spread down, it just, certain cards really stick out or stand out and frame the reading. So for 2024, I want to use that spread more often. And I feel like, in addition, I have 6 decks that I want to, I think I called it decks I want to explore in 2024. And I just did a video on that. But these 6 decks, I figure if I do a larger spread, like a 9-card spread, I can cycle through more cards than if I'm just doing card of a day or 3-card spread or even a 5-card spread. So the 9-card spread is something I'm planning on working with throughout 2024 and even probably moving forward. And then let's see, goals, focus, and so forth for 2024. So, I had decided a while ago, that I really want to focus on, Tarot de Marseille, and I got this Jean Noblet, and I plan on studying it, and, I'm going to be, using this book, the Yov Ben Dov Tarot, the open reading. I actually had planned to do this last year, and that's how far I got. Let's see, page 64. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I got all the way to the description of the cards, which I think is page 93. So I got almost 100 pages in. So I'm going to finish that book, and I'm going to use that to study this. And also the Gay Marseille, when that comes in, I will be using that deck, which I feel like I might use that more than this one, because one of the reasons I haven't gotten into TDM sooner is because the artwork doesn't really speak to me. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. And then I also want to get into this book, Tarot for the Hard Work by Maria Minnis. And this is an archetypal journey to confront racism and inspire collective healing. So using tarot for social activist work. So that's it. That's my 8 prompts. Thank you, Amy. I loved those prompts. I loved those questions. And thank you, Laura, for also doing this. And I want to say peace and love to everyone. And I wish you joy and happiness.